Hello, everyone. Thank you and welcome for joining this session where I'm going to cover the functionalities of MapReveal platform. To start with, let's hit the URL demo.transo.com, sign in with your username and password. As soon as we sign in, the landing page will show map sessions. We have a number of tabs available: map sessions, data, projects, users. The CTOS tab, which is going to be useful for the property tax survey. We'll cover one tab at a time, and I will try my level best to explain as much as I can. If any further questions, please reach out to us. In the map sessions, we have create new session tab and the bookmark tab. List of all the map sessions will be visible on your screen. We can share this map session with our fellow colleagues. How to create the ID or onboard our colleagues on the admin portal. I will cover it under users tab. We can create a duplicate map session, delete them, and also assign this map session to a particular project. In the bookmark tab, if we want to show any particular part of the map, we can bookmark it from the map session, and the list of all the bookmarks will be visible against each map session. In the data tab, we have a my data and a data library. In data library, we have pre-uploaded different data sets in vector and tabular data. We can also categorize them by demographics, health, agriculture, and also view them by geometry types. For individual data set, which we have uploaded on data library, we have kept the source and the relevant information. You can preview this data set where metadata will be available on your screen plus some sort of records in a table. We can use this layer into our data, and later on we can use them to create maps from map sessions. We can also straight away import this layer into map session as well, and if there is any existing layer which we have uploaded in my data, we can also join the data from here. In my data, we have vector, raster, and tabular formats. Under all tab, we'll have list of all the spatial, non-spatial layers. For all individual layers, and according to the type of the layer, there are certain options. So for this line layer, we have few options to preview the metadata and the table. We can also rename, we can change their attributes as well, or we can also add more attributes too. We can also export the data into shapefile, GeoJSON, DXF, and KML. And we can also delete from my data as well. On all tab, we have an option to upload the data in vector, raster, and tabular. In vector, we are only allowed to upload zip, KML, KMZ, DXF, CSV, JSON, and GeoJSON. For shapefiles, we have to zip only DBF, SHX, TRJ, and .shp files. The maximum allowed size is vary from format to format. So for shapefile, the upper size limit is 10 MB. For KML, KMZ, JSON, and GeoJSON, it is 100 MB. In the raster tab, we are allowed to import .tiff and .ecw. The maximum allowed size is 1 GB. In tabular, we are only allowed to upload XLS and CSV, and the maximum allowed size is 1 GB. We can search the layer from my data using this search bar, and we can also search a specific layer under data library as well. Under projects tab, we have two more submodules, projects and forms. For this demonstration purpose, I have already created 3 forms of different geometry. So to create new form, we'll have to name the form, and we need to choose any of those geometry type, either point, polygon, polyline, or multi-polygon. To create a form, we need to use different widgets as per the requirement. To give a better idea, I will show few forms. So in the building form, I have taken polygon as a geometry type. For survey ID, I have taken the widget as a number, where a surveyor will enter a survey ID once during the complete project cycle, and the rest of the number until the project gets over will be auto incremented. Building name, we have kept it as a title case. So when surveyor inputs any information, it will be a title case. I have kept it as a required field so that surveyor should not miss this information to take it from the field. In usage, I have chosen a single choice where surveyor selects usage and selects the appropriate option. It is also kept as a required field. Here, we have kept a conditional widget as well. In such case, if surveyor chooses residential, then only residential option will pop up on the mobile screen, and the condition can be set up from the conditions tab under respective widget. So here I have kept the condition as if a usage is equal to residential, then only then this option will pop up. The same way, we've also created a conditional widget on commercial as well. These 3 widgets, construction year, current year, and age, are to know the age of the building. So here, surveyor will enter the construction year, Current year would be 2023 or 24. Here, I have chosen default to last collected. That means surveyor does not need to enter the current year again and again for the entire project cycle, and until surveyor changes the current year, the information will remain the same. The next widget is to find the age, where we are going to use current year and construction year and the operator. Facility type is multiple choice, where surveyor has to select multiple options from those four options. Surveyor can select one or more than one options using this widget. For the point form, I have named it as a street. Geometry type is point. In this form, I have used single choice autosuggest, where I have fetched one Excel sheet with number of different field, operator, by, capacity, road name, position. Here, admin has to create the widgets and map them against the fields which are present in the Excel sheet. As soon as surveyor gets this form, he or she has to only enter the street light ID, and the rest of the other widgets will be auto-populated from the Excel sheet. The project submodule, where we can create a project and assign surveyors and the forms, which will help a surveyor to collect the data from the field. Here, I have created a project named as a demo. Description is given. So, in this project, I have assigned 3 forms and 1 surveyor. Moving forward, users page, where we can either upload all the users in one go, in a bulk. The sample format in CSV is available here. We can also add individual users from this part of the section. We have 2 roles where admin has to choose the email ID, name, and the correct role. Analyst will have privilege to edit feature and attribute and fill data approval. If admin wants analyst to only approve the data, then he can toggle on, so that analyst will be only able to approve the data but not able to edit feature and attributes. Analyst will not have an access to mobile application, and for surveyor, enter the name, email address and password, assign the projects, and surveyor will not have access to web interface. We can search the users, and we can also filter if we have a list of analysts. In the map session, Let's deep dive and understand what all tools and panels available. In the map session, as soon as we go in, we have a map screen. On your left hand side, we have a layer panel. On your right hand side, we have a floating panel. On your top right corner, we have a settings where we can create bookmarks, we can publish the maps, we can export the map and also print it. Notification will show the processes. If we want to export any vector layer, we can export it from the notification itself. On the left hand side, we have tools panel where we have feature editing, vector processing, raster processing as well. In the layers panel, just below the name of the map session, we have add layer functionality. We can group the layers, we can create duplicate layers if we want to style them differently. If we want to hide any particular layer, we can also do it from here. If we have styled one layer, we can also lock it. So by mistakenly, we do not change anything in the style layer. We can also delete individual layers too, but by just selecting them. In the map background, we have three types of facilities. In the base map, we have 5 different base maps. We can choose any of those base map as per our convenience. In the external map services, we have to choose a WMS or WFS. We recommend you to choose the WMS and WFS with HTTPS. We can also change the background color. For individual layers, we have a styling panel. So for every geometry type, we have a different styling panel available. So for point, we have fixed, categorized, graduated, and heat map. While for the polygon, we have a fixed, categorized, and graduated. The same style is available for line features as well. For individual layer, on the styling panel, we have a zoom to layer option available. We can also filter the data if we want to only target let's say one state or a county. By filtering on the layer, we'll be only able to see the filtered data. If we want to clear it out, let's press on a clear and the layer will be reset in its original format and all the data will be visible. We can preview their metadata and some few entries. We can rename the layer. We can copy this layer from one map session to another map session. So as a use case, if we have styled one layer by using graduated style type, and if we want to use the same layer in a different map session, we can straight away just copy from one session to another. Here, the layer will be still retained in your existing map session and will be visible in your next session. Move feature, where we are going to move one feature or a layer from map session to another where our current map session will not have the layer available. Right now we are looking at the map view. If we want to view a table view as well, we can also view their table. We have a pagination. If a data has been collected from the field, and if we click on unapproved edits, we'll be able to see all unapproved data as a table. The styling type is fixed, categorized, and graduated. We can set up their zoom extent. So let's say we are right now at a 3.1. If I make it to 4, the layer is disappeared. So we can also set up zoom extent for individual layers. We can change the colors of borders and the fill, their width as well, and their opacity. We can also label individual polygons by simply just keeping toggle on your right and select the attribute. We can change the color of the text, font, and the spacing, and the opacity as well. So one of the data which I've already uploaded on the portal, I have created a graduated style where the attribute type is number insured, which means in individual county, how many persons are insured. Method is equal interval. We can also select as per our project requirement. Kept the classes as 8, we can make it till 20. I'm going to keep it as 8 only. For the color, in the graduated style, we are going to give first and the second color. Here I have chosen a color from the customized color palette. And for the second color, we have pre-filled palette. We can also change the color for individual range from here. We can also change the range max and min value as well. We can delete the classes. And for those information where the attribute value is null, we can also make them of any color. Right now it is by default as a gray. For percent insured, percent uninsured, I'm going to create a bubble style. The attribute would be uninsured. According to the information available in the attribute, the portal has created bubbles. We can also decide the bubble radius, their breaks. Right now I have kept it only 2. If I make it to 5, then the bubble size will vary from, the radius would vary from 5 to 15. We can also change the opacity and the border opacity as well. On your right hand side, we have a floating panel. We have a data filters where we can do a spatial query and a data query as well. A query builder will pop up on our screen. And if we would like to see only specific counties data, then it will be highlighted on our screen. We can save them as a permanently or a temporarily, and also we can export them into various available vector formats. Spatial query, where we have two options. We can select by location. There are two ways you can run this query. Select by location, where I will select the features from US states. We can set up the relationship type. And select reference layer. So using the reference layer and by relationship type, portal will generate the table. Select by graphics, where we can select by point, polyline and polygon. The floating panel, we have a pan option. We can also identify the layer. We can zoom in and zoom out. We can also measure the distance, and we can also view the map screen as a full screen. In the tool section, we have a feature editing tool where on the existing layers, we can either add new attributes and edit existing features as well. Once we've added new polygon with its attributes, or if we edit any existing polygon, in that case, admin has to approve the edits, and then and only then the newly created features or edited attributes will be visible on the map session under layer panel. In the vector processing, we have several tools. Under spatial analysis, we have a buffer, center of mass, difference. We have geometry tools such as bounding box, along, and the center. Let's try one tool on US states. Here, for creating centroid, I'll have to select a polygon layer. We can create centroid by choosing a data query. Here it will open a query builder where we want to only create centroid for certain polygons. Select by graphics, where we have an option to select by geometry. We can do a selection by point, polyline, and polygon, or else we can create centroid for the complete data. As soon as the output is ready, it will be visible on your map screen and also available in the table. We can store them as permanently and temporarily as well. We can also export the output in a various available vector formats. We have a table join option as well. Where we have to give a vector layer which is available in the current map session. We can select the table from my data or a data library, or we can upload it from our local drive as well. Under network analysis, we have service area and a distance to nearest facility. Under statistical analysis, we have spatial prediction tool and identify similar features. We also have a tools for raster processing, where under resource set, we have extract water bodies tool, where if we pass any raster image with 3 bends, extract water body algorithm will give you the water bodies in the polygon output. Under analysis tool, we have 3 more tools: compute gradual path, visibility coverage, and spatial filter. Here, now we can create a map session. And also do a spatial analysis. Once we are done with the analysis, we can also publish the map as a WMS or WFS services. Under WFS, we have a multiple options to choose. Once it starts generating, it will give you WFS map URL, which we can pass it to our stakeholder. Layer data access API and embed iframe, we can use it in the third-party application. Once we copy and paste it in our browser, it will show the layers which we have added in the map session. The same way, WMS we can also publish. There are 4 URLs generated. WMS map URL, you can pass it to your stakeholders or your colleagues. WMS preview, WMTS URL. This URL you can also use it in external desktop GIS application. So this is what MapReveal does. Further, you can also configure the platform for the data collection using MapReveal Collect and CityOS Collect application as well. Hope you have gone an idea of the functionality of MapReveal. If any doubts or any concerns, please do reach out to us.